Got Ricardo
Okay.
here from Broken Cuffs.
Hey, what's up?
So, real quick, I'm going to start. Usually, I let my guests begin, but I'm going to start because I have never done this with all my interviews.
What's up?
Bro, I was floored when I listened to you guys because I found you on Instagram
Yeah,
and I went over to Spotify. And if you don't know who Broken Cuffs are, street punk to its finest from Palmdale, right? Palmdale?
that's right. Yeah, that's where we're from. We're north of Los Angeles. We don't like to say we're an LA punk band, even though that's kind of like our home base where we play a lot.
Right.
But I mean, we just represent our hometown. Some of our locals here would be like, "Oh, all of a sudden you guys are from LA." So we just keep it real. We're from Palmdale, California.
This band is outstanding. This band
Thank you, man.
is, I grew up as I say in a lot of these interviews, I grew up as a Rancid kid, hooligan,
Same.
and you guys are freaking legit. All right. I'm just going to say it right now. Like, even right before the interview, I was listening to you guys again. Like, you guys are, I cannot say enough good things about the
Wow.
music that you guys put out, especially your 2021 release, right? 2021 self-titled.
That's right. Yep. Self-titled, full length right there. Yep. And thanks a lot, Matthew. I was going to say to the viewers, he didn't give me a heads up. He was going to say any of this. So
No,
that's
no.
awesome. Good to hear.
I only try to interview artists I like, but you guys, you are my style of punk that I love.
Well, thanks
So
so much.
I
Thanks
don't
for
have a,
focusing on the little guys like us.
I don't have a mohawk or a face tattoo, but I am punk. Stay away, gatekeepers.
I was
So
never able to grow one. Well, when I could, I was too young, and then my mom would say, "No, you're not going to cut your hair like that." Middle school.
yeah, yeah.
But now,
Oh,
we're getting up there in age, so the hair's thinning out, so it just gets cut short. This is
hey,
even long for me right now. I'm due for a haircut for this weekend.
well, you just call it a skinhead. You just say you're a skinhead, and then everybody will be fine with you shaving your head.
That's what people think. And we were at a show last weekend, and he goes, "Hey, what's up? You're an OG skinhead." And I said, "Actually, I'm not a skinhead at all. We do listen to Oi and all that shit, and we love skinhead music, but this is just it's easy maintenance. I get out of the shower, do one of these with a towel, ready and done."
I tried to do the skinhead thing for a minute, but being in Nashville, Tennessee, it's a little too close to home for some of the. You say skinhead, and they're not thinking oi. All right, I'll
Right.
just say it that way.
Watch your bag.
They want to invite me to certain rallies and stuff that I don't want to go to.
Ah, shit.
So, you guys, your first album came out in 2016, correct?
Yes, that's right. So we've been a band well, just a quick little bio here. We started our band in 2015. No, not 15, 2005. We were all in high school teenagers. We played around a year and a half, 2 years. We all graduated high school. We all started getting full-time jobs and unable to keep up with practices and gigs and stuff. So I was the first one to stepped out of the band. I only used to play guitar then. I was lead guitar. And so I was like, you guys keep holding the flag, keep going. But
Mhm.
they just didn't really want to do it. They said it felt different without me there. They tried one gig, didn't work out. And then that was it. So fast forward, we stopped playing music for like 9 years. And then one of our original members reached out to me and said, "Let's get the band back together. Are you down for that?" I was recently divorced. So I said, "Yeah, I have nothing but time now. So let's go. We'll play a couple of local gigs here and there." Because I used to live 4 hours from Palmdale when I was asked. So I was driving back and forth 4 hours each way. So I figured, I could do that a couple times a year.
Right.
First gig went great. And then it had just been snowballing from there. There were times that we were playing every weekend, 2 or 3 times a weekend. And here I was going back and forth, 8-hour drive. But I'm dedicated. We do this because we love to do it. We don't have to do it. The moment you have to do something, you're no longer enjoying it.
Right.
So I get to play with my boys. I get to play music. I get
Right.
to hang out at shows. I get to have drinks with my boys. We get to play shows. And like I said, the moment you have to do it, then it's a chore. And you probably don't want to do that if it comes down to that. But yeah, we reunited on our first gig back. Our singer, because I'm not even the original singer, I was just lead guitar. Our original singer decided to not be able to do the gig because he was in the military and he got called into duty. He gave me 2 days heads up. said, hey, I can't make the gig. And I didn't want to cancel. And we were just scrambling around town going, who should we get as a villain? The guitarist suggested, well, why don't you hop on vocals? And I said, I don't know all his lyrics. I helped write some of them, but I don't know his lyrics like that. So I had 2 days to learn it, but because I couldn't learn and play guitar at the same time, I just went on vocals. And our really good friends back then, a local skinhead band, they said, that's it. You're going to be the singer from now forward. And I was like, no, I'm just filling in the show. He's like, no, that's it. That settles that. You're the new singer. And, I laughed it off, but here we are. We've been back at it since 2015 with me as a vocalist. And for a while I was just doing vocals, but I really, really wanted to get back on guitar. So now I'm back on guitar and lead vocals.
In 2016, you released These Boots, which, by the way, the song These Boots is a masterpiece. All right.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
That's one of my jams. But how punk that your lead singer is going to the military. You couldn't write a better script for a punk band than our lead singer is going to the military now. We got to find a new lead singer. The one thing I've noticed about you guys with y'all being a DIY band is you get a lot of love from bands in the genre who are signed, who are nationally touring acts. How did that come about for you? Who were you stalking to get love from some of these bands?
We just got out there and we did it. And yes, you're right. Sometimes some of the stuff that's getting liked on our Instagram, I'm going, oh my God, like they liked our stuff. And that's just because we've been able to play with it. We've been able to open up for their gigs. It wasn't so much of like begging promoters to do it. Like I said, you just kind of go out there and do it. If they like your stuff, most likely they're going to end up inviting you back for future gigs or saying, hey, well, now we're going to set something up in this town if you guys want to do it. And it has just kind of happened like that. But yeah, we have an incredible support. What I would consider some of our idols when we were in high school growing up. We got bands like the Casualties that are always just either liking our posts, commenting our posts, sharing our things. We've been able to play with them several times. Now we're friends with them. We got people like, Matt, I think his name's Matt. Yeah. So just like you, Matt from Noise, he'll like our stuff on there. He's got one of our shirts that he used to rock. It's got camel, so it's perfect because that guy's in the military too, but it was a camel shirt with our logo on it. And then we have people like Monkey from the Addicts that he's very active on our stuff. He'll like our stuff. Sometimes we'll comment back on our stories and we've become friends with him. Mm-hmm. And that's because he saw us play, not with him, but we were playing this gig in Ventura. I'm just singing up on stage and I'm looking over and I'm like, that guy looks like Monkey from the Addicts at a distance. But I was like, no, it's not him. I almost told my bassist, like, look, that guy reminds you of Monkey. He's kind of dressed like he would typically dress at a show, but he was far away, and then we finished our set. And then sure enough, he came over to our merch table. And I immediately, I was like, hey, it is you. Gosh, like, what are you doing here? That's awesome. I had met him before at gigs, just attending his shows, but never at a personal level like that. And he stopped by our merch table. We spoke for like 10 minutes, talking to me about what his tattoo meant and the name of our band, Broken Cuffs. Then he started going off of some story where back in England, when people get released from prison, then that was kind of like their tattoo, obviously Broken Cuffs, and things like that. So yeah, it was really cool. And ever since, we've been able to play several gigs with them just right before COVID. And everything was going great. And then, of course, COVID struck and everything was put on hold. But we were able to put in some shows, I think, right up leading to COVID. In fact, I think one of our last gigs with them, I remember in Denver, we were going to go see Jello Biafra spin some vinyl, and he was just playing classics, like after party sort of thing. And I was like, we're going to play our gig and then we're going to shoot over there. Like, I'm not missing that. It's down the street. And I remember some of the guys from the Addicts were actually not feeling too well. Right. So I remember like, oh, where's the guitars? And oh, he's not feeling well. He's just going to hang out in the bus. Might have been COVID. I don't know. But it was really in its premature stage because it was February and, things didn't shut down until March. Mm-hmm. So who knows? But it might have just been a cold or something. But yeah. And I'm gonna warn you, Matthew. I talk a lot, so you're gonna have to edit a lot for your YouTube channel. You're gonna have to trim the fat.
No, we're gonna let it roll, man. I love it because you make my job easier. Who's the coolest band that you guys have played with?
As far as friendliness, cool in that
Like
way,
just like
or
when you got the call and you're like, you're going to open for this band, you were like,
that's
oh
an easy one.
man.
Oh,
Oh,
that's an easy one, and that's gonna go to the Addicts right there
okay. All
for
right.
sure. When I was in high school, I never even thought I would see this band live
Right.
because of where we're from. You know, we're from Palmdale, and back then we didn't drive. So yeah, that would play LA, but our parents were not going to drive us down there on a Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the bands. I'm like, when would we ever see this band? And actually, I used to know a promoter back then. I was just 16 or something. He came up to me like, hey, what are some good punk bands to look out here? I said, you might want to check out the Addicts. Everybody in my school loves them. He goes, okay, let me look into it. And then a few weeks later, he's like, I got them. He's like, you think it's going to do good? I'm like, hell yes, it's going to do good. This venue was totally, I guarantee you, it was over capacity. They oversold the venue. The windows, the mirrors at the bar was steaming because it was just so jam packed. There was no circle pit. You couldn't pit anymore because we were all just jammed up in the front.
Right.
Could not circle pit. But I mean, to say the least, it went really, really well. And that was like a dream come true. I was like, oh my God, it's the guy from my shirts up on stage with the makeup and everything. So just seeing them was like an unforgettable experience.
Right.
And I was 16 then. Fast forward, 12 years or something. And now we know the band personally. And then we got asked, would you guys be interested in doing some dates with them in the West Coast? I literally screenshot that message, sent it to the rest of my band. I said, hey, we just got this message. Are you guys up for it? Which I knew they were going to say, fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No questions asked. But sometimes you think these bigger bands, you can't even reach out because who knows who's going to read it. It's going to be their manager, the booking agent. It's not up to them a lot of the times. So the fact that we got asked and invited to join them on some dates with them was just incredible. So like I said, that's going to be an easy one for your question on what was the coolest band you got asked to play with. Because last year we did Rebellion Festival. And I mean, that one too, we were playing with literally all of our favorite bands.
Right.
It was almost like no one was missing from the lineup. Every band that we love, all 4 days, boom. But that one, it's not like we got asked by the bands personally to directly open for them. But we were able to share the stage on this amazing festival, Rebellion Fest 2022. I was going to say 23, that's this year. But yeah, well, we got to play with literally, I don't even know who was missing, man. We played on the same day as Crass, the Subhumans, GBH. It's just like, geez, wow. Like Cockspar, it was like the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a good chat with the singer too, and that's a whole different story. But yeah, it was really cool chatting with the guys.
So 2016 we did These Boots. 2021 we did the self-titled. Mm-hmm. What are we doing next? Do you have anything you guys are working on right now?
Well, right now we're still doing some gigs. We had a transition between drummers.
Okay.
Right at the end of the year. So I didn't want to book too heavy this year, not knowing who was going to be filling in that spot or whether they were going to work out with us or not. Mm-hmm. So I didn't book too heavy, but we have been doing some back-to-back dates. Right now we're booking up all the way to October, but it's not like we're slammed every weekend in a row or any tours planned at the moment. But we do have some dates coming up, and have been with our new drummer since, I'm going to say November. Okay. I should have really studied. I'm sorry. But yeah, I think he jumped on. We played with Lion's Law in Long Beach, California. Yeah. Lion's Law from Paris. And then our drummer, that's kind of when he was transitioning out. He wasn't able to do that date. So then we got our friend to fill in. And after the gig, he goes, so what's the plan? Like, do you guys need a drummer? I said, well, I don't know. He might be stepping out. I just really needed your help for this one gig. And he's like, well, if you guys want to do it, let's go hard. I'm full-time, say less. Let's go. And so, yeah, he's been with us since then. He's an amazing drummer, maybe overqualified for our band, but it's great. It's a really funny guy. He was a friend of ours for a while. The guy's in like 5 other bands, and I'm not even exaggerating. But I originally knew him from his Oi band from LA called the Hard Knocks. Really melodic, hard, like Cholo Oi. I say Cholo because, everyone, that's like the ongoing joke where they just look like Mexican gangsters, but they play like really amazing Oi.
What is that?
But yeah, that's our.
Would you consider Dead 77 that type as well?
Consider them what?
Cholo?
Oh, no.
No?
no, they're our friends too, but no, they're definitely not cholo. They're mostly all Latino in the band,
Right. Yeah, that's true.
but
Yeah.
they're definitely no, they're not, and neither are the Hard Knocks. I'm not saying they're
Right.
cholos, but no, that's what I'm saying. No, they got their own thing going.
Dead
Would not
77s are
consider them
great.
cholos.
They're great. They're a
Yeah,
great.
that's a
They're a great
friend. Those are
band.
friends of ours. Yep.
So I know that you guys have had to have a record label come your way. Why have you guys decided to stay DIY for now?
For the longest time, I guess it comes down to just the transitions between band members, people that kind of come and go. Some really like big letdowns where we thought we had like a solid lineup, really dedicated, and then all of a sudden, like, hey, I'm going to step out because I got this going on with life in general or whatever.
Right.
And it almost always happens to be about the time that a label was like, hey, we want to work with you guys. Well, let's put a record out. Like one of them was Evacuate Records, who's run by Mike Virus from The Virus, Evacuate, Cheap Sex. But that was probably like his second or third time insisting on like, hey, let's put out your next record. But it was always at like the worst possible time that we would get asked.
Right.
Where it's like, well, we want to do it, but I think our drummer's leaving for good. We would always get that threat of like, oh, I'm going to be stepping out because I got this. The guy produces music. He's like, he makes beats for artists and things. And he was wanting to do that full time.
Right.
And then he tried to leave several times, not even in a nasty way, just like, hey, I want to do this full time. And I always thought, well, why can't you still do that full time, but also play every now and then?
Right.
And then he would be like, okay, I'll stick around. But then a couple months will go by and like, I think I'm going to step out because I just don't have time on that Saturday. And then the Saturday after that. And I kind of almost begged him like, no, what do you like? Because we go way back. I've known the guy for 15 years. He's always played drums for us. And, it was just that kind of thing where a member was stepping out and I didn't want to like commit to anything if we don't even have a band, really. Let's say it like it is. And then, others have been interested. But again, it's usually someone stepping out of the band and I'm like, I don't want to say, hey, stay together because we're going to go on this label.
Right.
Because I don't know if that sounds selfish from my end or not, but I don't want that to be the motivation to stay in a band and play. I want the passion to be there, not for the wrong intention.
Right.
Not that we're going to get money thrown at us, but I don't want that to be like, well, I was going to leave, but now that you are introducing a label, maybe I'll stay.
It's like if a girl breaks up with her boy, I'm going to break up with you unless she propose. And then they propose and like, okay, I'll stay. And then it's like,
right. So then did you really do it out of love?
Right.
That's exactly the reason. And I've always told my band, like, even for our members, I would rather have passion over talent. You could be the greatest guitarist in the world, greatest bassist, greatest drummer. But if the passion's not there, then it's just not going to work out.
Right.
I'd rather have someone that's not super talented because we're all going to grow. You're going to just naturally learn to play better the more you do something. Because even I myself, I'm not a very skilled guitarist, but we do what we do and we love it. I would even consider our music to be pretty primitive in the sense of like, it's punk rock. I grew up with that sort of mentality that if anyone could do it, as cliche as that sounds, but it doesn't take much. Just if you have a passion for it, you get out there and you do it. Our music's not super heavy on solos and guitar leads and,
which I deeply appreciate, by the way.
Thank you. Not that I don't enjoy those kind of bands. I do, but for us, I got to be able to play it.
Right.
At the same time. I got to be able to play it on stage.
Right.
Because if I'm going to sit in my bedroom and I can do these sweeps, not super great, but if I'm going to do all these guitar sweeps, well, I'm sitting down in the comfort of my own home. I got to be able to do this on stage while jumping around, out of breath, screaming into the mic. So not to have that as an excuse, but I just write music that I know that I'll be able to perform live on stage. And sometimes less is more. I do try to throw in some leads here and there, but some of our songs don't have a solo. Some of our songs are just straight out power chords. sometimes less is more. So a lot of the music I grew up listening to is very simple, very primitive, but not in, I mean that in the best way possible, not as an insult. So if someone says, "Are your music's primitive?" Great. Do you like it? Awesome. Was it catchy? Even better, you know?
Right.
So that's just the way it is.
So where you guys going to be playing shows at for the rest of 2023? Are you guys doing any of the festivals this year? Have you been confirmed for any of them yet this year?
So Rebellion, we're still waiting to hear back from that. Kind of lost hope because I think I waited too long to email them.
Okay.
And then one of the guys that works with them says, "Hey, have you got an email back?" "No, we haven't heard anything." He's like, "Email them right now."
Right.
He's like, "You might be too late, but just send your EPK and email them. So I want you guys to come back. We played last year. They want us to be back." So I might have waited too long. I don't know that that's going to happen, but that's okay because there's always next year, hopefully. Mm-hmm. But right now, confirmed, we're going to be doing Crash Festival in Portland, Oregon. And that's just drowned with amazing bands. Mm-hmm. Just to mention a few, we're going to be playing on the same day as GBH, one of my favorites, right. The Templars, Blank 77, Crown Court. That's just day one, or day two. That's the day we're playing. But then we have other dates that have bands like the Drowns that you mentioned, mm-hmm. which they're our friends, and we love them also. We got the Boys, Liberty and Justice, and the whole lineup. I mean, it's 3 days full of, it's a lot of it seems to be like Oi inspired bands, but mm-hmm. you got just some punk rock bands like us. And yeah, we're super stoked for that one. That's Crash Festival in Portland, Oregon, October 20th through the 22nd. But we're also going to be doing a festival in June in Baltimore, and that's being put together by Liberty or Death Records, which actually, to answer your previous question, because again, I start to rant and go all over the place. Liberty and Death Records, that's a label that we are probably going to be teaming up with.
Awesome. We got breaking news.
So that's in the works. Yeah, that's in the works. I that's where I was going to lead into, but then I derailed on why we haven't been on a label yet.
Right.
But we're talking to Liberty or Death Records and Lake Town Records from Germany. So they'll do the distribution in Europe and the United States, North America, those two labels. And that's in the works.
When can we expect a new album from you guys?
With the label, I think they're going to go ahead and press our self-titled record from 2021.
Okay.
So I really want to push for that. Even though it came out in 2021, that was like at the end, like October 2021. So we kind of ran with it all of 2022. And we produced CDs ourselves. Well, not like we made them, but
right, yeah.
Independently.
Right.
But, you know, it's the real thing with the booklet, like Hellcat record style booklet, like you would get a Rancid CD. And we made a couple runs of that. And typically within a month, it would sell out, which is great.
Yeah.
And then people will say, "Well, when's the vinyl? Like, I want this, but I collect vinyl, not CDs." And so we just kept saying, "It's soon." You know, we might just do it out of pocket and do it ourselves because we just weren't sure if we want to do a label or just independent. And then we would do another batch of CDs. And again, you know, they're down to just a few now. Like, it's literally a handful that we have again. And everyone always asks, "When's the vinyl coming?" So I would always say soon, like, hang in there. It's coming soon because right. Liberty or Death Records has been messaging us for about a year now saying, "Hey, we want to work with you guys. Let's do some sort of split or let's put you in a compilation." And they have put us in compilations that's on Bandcamp. So it's like a digital form.
Right.
Usually like a dog rescue that they do like a fundraiser for a dog rescue. So we've done, I think, 2 or 3 compilations with them. And then at the very start of 2023 in January, it's like January 2nd, we got a message by them again saying, "Hey, we really thought this through and we really want to work with you guys. Let's do it." And right now, the last couple of days, I've been talking to them actually about the release. And they said, "What do you guys want to do?" And I said, "I really want to put out that self-titled on vinyl because everyone's been wanting it. Even though it's out there on CD and all streaming platforms, people want that physical media. They want the record. And so do I, to be honest. To be frank, like, I want to see my baby on a vinyl because I do collect vinyl. You know, the CDs are for my car because I do still buy CDs and they go in the car when I don't have my iPod or whatever plugged in. But people do want the vinyl. And as far as new music, we're currently with our current drummer now, our new drummer, Gio. We've been writing some new music. So right now we're working on like 3 tracks in like just in the last couple months that we've been jamming. We're usually practicing for our next gig, but then he'll start playing something. I'm like, hey, keep doing that. I love that. I love that. I love that beat. And then I'll come in on guitar, and then our bassist just follows through. And we're currently working on like 3 new songs. So maybe by next year we might be doing some sort of EP or possibly another full length. We'll just see how the writing process goes.
Well, Liberty and Death Records has some outstanding artists for the genre.
Yeah, the compilations have been great.
Yeah, they're great. So that's awesome. And when we get the vinyl pressing, I want the interview with you to talk about the vinyl, the label, all of that stuff. I get first right. Because I want the exclusive. All right,
you got it.
Everybody else can piss off. So how can everybody get in contact with you? And by the way, you mentioned you were a vinyl collector. How many vinyls do you have? What's your collection like?
So I'm not like a crazy collector like that, but I don't know. I would say, oh gosh, I can't even estimate, but maybe like 400 records or something.
Okay. I interviewed
mostly punk rock. It's like, and I say mostly because I have some like indie stuff on there that there's a very small list of bands that I listen to that's like not punk at all, that even my girlfriend says, what the fuck is that? What are you listening to? The music is music, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm not ashamed to say, yeah, I like this band or I like this artist. If it sounds good to me, if it's catchy, if it's stuck in my head, usually if it's got a good message.
I interviewed Jeremy for the Bandulus, and I was like, how many records do you have? And he was like, I have no clue. And his whole entire walls behind him were just covered in records. I'm like, don't ever ask me to help you move, because that would be a pain right there.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I couldn't tell you, but basically I have them in one of those like shelves that are like cubbies.
Yeah.
And I think there's like 8 of those filled in. So it's not like a bookshelf.
Right.
It's not a wall by any means. I kind of got into the vinyl game like pretty late, just like 7 years ago. I started buying records. So I guess I got on it pretty late, but I usually just buy the stuff that I really like. Sometimes like, even if I've had it on CD or cassette or even a Napster download from 1999, I'm buying the vinyl again. You know, I'm trying to support the artist, or a lot of times it's our friends' bands that I always pick up their vinyl if they got something and I like it. Then I go and buy them, and you know, just to support these bands that are out there doing the thing. Or if I just really like something.
So how can people get in contact with you guys?
You guys can contact us through our email. It's brokencuffs661@gmail.com. Or the easiest way would be through our Instagram, just @brokencuffs. I'm the one that reads it, and I'm probably going to see it first if I see it on there. My email, I don't get alerts on my phone just because I don't want to be getting ding, ding, ding all day long. And even on Instagram, I don't get alerts, but every day I'll check it out. If I see a DM, I'll definitely reply to you the same day, usually.
He's very quick on the reply for the DMs, almost sometimes quicker.
It's just us. It's just us. We don't have no managers or no agents. We don't got to ask permission from anyone. We just we reply when, you know, or Facebook, same thing, Broken Cuffs. But Facebook, it's a little bit more of a challenge for me to find messages. So Instagram is probably your best bet. But we do have our email as well, Broken Cuffs 661. That's our area code in Palmdale. So 661@gmail.com. But yeah, and then so festivals. I know you're located out there in Tennessee, Matthew.
Yep, in Nashville.
And I mean, I submitted our form for Muddy Roots.
Yep.
Festival. So I don't know. We're still waiting to hear back from them. I submitted a form a month or 2 ago. So that'd be cool if we do come out your way, and
you can sleep on my couch. You can sleep on my couch. I will house Broken Cuffs. You just got to play.
Awesome.
You just got to play a concert in my backyard for my neighbors. All right, that's all we got.
It'll be acoustic.
Suburbia will love the Broken Cuffs. Ricardo, please, when you guys have something new to talk about, I'd love to bring you back on.
Absolutely.
For everybody who does not know who these guys are, once again, go check them out. Probably the best new discovery of street punk I've heard since the mid-90s, when it was
Thanks so much, Matthew.
When it was rancid. This is, here we go. This is here. You can put this on. Tell Liberty and Death Records they can put this on the vinyl. This is the best thing since Rancid when it comes to street punk, in my opinion.
Wow.
Straight up.
Some of our idols right there. Yeah. Some people want to say what they want to say about Rancid. It's still one of my top favorite bands.
Well, no
shame.
Look,
they're amazing.
The people who trash on street punk, they're like, they listen to like Simple Plan or, like the real pop punk mall stuff. So they don't know what they're talking about. But Ricardo, thank you again. And we'll be in touch as you guys, release the vinyl and you got tours to announce and stuff like that. And you're always welcome back anytime you need to hawk something.
Awesome. Oh, can I mention one last fest?
Absolutely.
See, I told you I'm not a professional, so I start to derail in conversations. But we are also doing this Mexican festival out of Mexico City called Punkitude Fest. And it's going to have bands like the Verrucers, which, again, big influence for us. And a band called IRA from Colombia. And I'm super stoked to see them. And that's another band they're incredibly huge in South America. When they play this festival in Colombia, you would think you're watching Kiss. It's like the crowds are massive and everyone's singing their music. And it's the biggest circle pit I've seen in my life. I'm not even kidding.
Really?
When they play, it's called Rock al Parque in Colombia. And it's like the most gigantic circle pit I've seen. Not live, because I had never been, but whatever videos they post, I'm like, God, what the fuck? They're huge there. They've come out here for like punk rock bowling once, and I got to see like a couple of their last songs, and they're amazing. And that's another band that we have their support. Anything I post, they usually like it, or they're commenting like "fuck yeah!" Like whenever we post some of like our live footage on Instagram and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so we've been in concert with them for like the last 5 years, and the fact that we're now playing the same festival, I'm super excited to see them. But that's coming up April 29th and 30th, and out of Mexico City. Mexico City. Yep. It's called Punkitude Fest.
Mexico City.
We're super stoked for that.
Mexico City has a great punk scene.
Oh yeah,
they really do love the scene there. So,
again, Ricardo, just based on videos I've seen, yeah, they go hard, and that's looking great. And we might do a one-off in Guadalajara, Mexico, where I have a lot of family out there. That's where I'm from, Guadalajara, Mexico, and so we're probably gonna start there, play a gig, and then head over to Mexico City and do the Punkitude Fest.
Well, that's awesome. You're welcome back anytime. Safe travels on your dates. This is Ricardo from Broken Cuffs. Thank you once again. Go check them out, and then you can thank me later.